家机人，
谢谢，恭喜这4-3，飞龙在天。
哎，算了，恭喜他夺冠吧。
一把，我靠！打不过啊，他最后这手感染虫太凶了。最近半年 ZVP 56-3，给自己点一个赞，冠军。
I don't think herO has any chance to save this one, but he continues. It gets killed coming back, and Bunny just doesn't seem to have the numbers. Didn't even notice the Liberator of the main base, I think. So many probes are going down right now. Oh my god, they're trying to get back, but they can't, and so many are picked up. A big clump here from Carry. Tries to split everything up.
Giant force of Phalanx rolling in and clearing the hell. That's massive.
Once again, has done it.
Saving it all, and he is a well-deserving champion.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, the beginning of the end, the beginning of Masters Coliseum 8, the playoff bracket. We are done with the group stage. We have wrapped up with our group A, B, C, and D. And now we are here with the top 8 players of the tournament. I'm of course your Live VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to Masters Coliseum. Welcome to the Tenkaichi Budokai. It's time to go full Dragon Ball. We're gonna be yelling for at least 5 hours. We're gonna 5 hours straight. By the end of it, next time on Masters Coliseum, we'll keep going, we'll keep yelling, we will transform, and we will embrace the StarCraft together. Let's go, Papi, let's go. Up first, we have herO versus Astrea. We have 2 best of 5s. I should emphasize we have 2 best of 5s here tonight. We have a PvP between herO and Astrea, and we have a ZVT between Reynor and Spirit. As bam, you see the matches before you, just 2 best of 5s. So potentially a bit of a shorter broadcast, potentially a longer one if we go the distance. It's possible we could get all 10 games here tonight, or we could get as little as 6. So we'll see how these series do pan out. Oh boy. When it comes to the length of the event, we're going to be running this until the end of January. And as you saw, we have 3 more days this week of Masters Coliseum. Tomorrow is day 2, day after that is day 3, and there's still more weeks to come to wrap up and to embrace all the matches ahead of us, all of Masters Coliseum. Let's go, Pappy, let's go. The playoffs, Pappy, the playoffs. Just catching up with the chat. Hello, Hippie in the chat. Hello there, and Dario complete as well. So run, I stand Psycons. Bienvenido. Shema, Papi Shema to all those in the land of Bologna as well. Bienvenidos. Good to see you all. And again, we start things off with the PvP. Players are preparing as we speak. They are getting ready here. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We did just have a gander at the brackets here. And I should also talk about the group stage, because there were some massive upsets in the group stage as well. If you weren't here for it, I recommend the VODs, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitch, whichever platform you prefer. VODs are available, and the group stage was crazy. It was insane. Who did not make it through the groups? 2 Terran players, 2 Protoss as well, kind of. But we had some key players not making it through. Maru was the big one. Maru, he failed to make it through the group stage. Likewise, so did Clem. Clem also barely did not make the cut. It was close. It was very, very close. It came down to a technicality, and Clem did not make it through the group. Likewise, Maru had a very rough time in his matches in the Protoss and even Terran matchups as well. So Mara and Clem are out. Likewise, Oliveira also is out as well. For those who are unaware, we did speak of it the other day during the podcast. For those who are curious, the podcast, it is of course our weekly talk show, and we did bring it back in 2025. We had the first edition merely yesterday or the day before. All the days blend together. They all blend together at this point. But yes, we did talk about how Oliveira, he has officially retired, and Masters Coliseum, this tournament, this group stage, was his final event that he did compete in, or Masters Coliseum and Lily Cup as well. not even the League Cup. But yeah, it was his final event, Master Coliseum, I should say. So alas, he has for the time being stepped away, which had never really gone. How many times did Tasia retire before finally throwing in the towel? You know what, 3, 4, 5 times? So maybe we'll see him back. Copium. I mean, a lot of it is going to depend on what the year has before us. But regardless, what I'm getting at here is that we have had a lot of momentous moments in Master Coliseum already. We've had a lot of pivotal moments, I should say, in StarCraft, whether it's Oliveira having his final games, whether it's Clem and Maru not making it through, whether it's Lancer with the crazy upset as well. And now we have our top 4. We have herO, Astrea, Reynor, Spirit, Zaun and MaxPax, and Serral and Gumiho. As well, it looks like we have our players, we have our cams. We're good to go. We are good to go here. Again, shout out to both Astrea and herO for providing us their lovely faces. And we have the coffee out as well. I know it's a very very rough time in the Americas at the moment. What I'm referring to is, of course, the time slots. It's a very, very rough time in the Americas as, let me just double check. It's like 4 a.m. Americas time. Is Astrea East Coast or West Coast? I'm not entirely certain here. But I know he's waking up bright and early for this. So he's sipping on that coffee. And yeah, down it, Papi, down it. Making sure he's awake, making sure he is with us here. And he's going to need all that coffee. He's going to need all that juice. He's going to need all that caffeine, all that power, if you will, to keep up with someone of the caliber of herO. herO, he is the best Protoss player in North South Korea. He is favored to make a deep run in this tournament. We just casted herO yesterday in the League Cup. And we saw herO take down Serral in a ZVP, but that's a different matchup entirely. Now we're jumping into our PvP to our first series of the night, and spawning in the top left hand corner we have herO for Weibo Gaming. In the bottom right we have the American Protoss player Astrea. Let's go. And also for those that are negatively affected by the fires that are currently happening in California, I do wish you all the best. Hope everything is okay. So do wish all the best to those that are being affected by that at the moment. Is definitely a serious thing. So yeah, thankfully, hopefully that is of course not going to be impacting Astrea's matches here tonight. I feel like, not gonna lie, whenever I interact with Astrea, I'm always asking where he's from, and I always forget, and I just keep asking him again. So I can't remember if Astrea is from the East or West Coast. I think, if I remember correctly, he's West Coast. I think. God, but I always have to keep re-asking him. It's all the same to me. It's all Canada. It's like Kappa. As we are going to be settling into our PvP. For the time being, 2 gate openers. 2 gate opener for Astrea, 2 gate opener for herO as well. So far, so good. As we are going to be settling into our initial PvP. I'm making these. Oh no, sorry, my apologies. I misspoke. I was getting ahead of myself here. So 2 gate open out of Astrea, but this is something that herO has been doing quite often. We bring this up, and we should bring this up more often here. Is that herO has been going for the max pack to opener more often than not in PvP. What I'm referring to is a gate into Cybercore into faster expansion. You can see that herO he's making the safety zealot. There we go, Nexus on the way. So herO he's cutting corners and he's rushing into a faster Nexus. Meanwhile, Astrea is going for much more standard opener instead. And Astrea, he's going to be tempted to go for a 1-base all-in to punish the greed of herO. And again, if you've been watching herO over the past, I want to say over a month at this point, ever since, I want to say even the off-season of EPT, herO has been embracing and has been going for this Max Pax opener. We have even seen herO defeat Max Pax with his opener as well, as we have seen him taking down Max Pax more and more often in recent weeks, in recent events. It's been amazing to see the growth of herO and a shakeup of the PvP meta, at least from the side of herO. I say that if you've been watching the Koreans, a lot of them have been following suit. Players like Nightmare, players like Classic, players like Trap as well, Creator less so, but a lot of them have kind of been in lockstep with herO and have been embracing the Max Pax opener a little bit more than they used to, whereas before they never did, but now they do dabble into it every now and then, especially on these maps where it is otherwise unsafe to do so. Oh, also, before I forget, my apologies, if you're in the chats, Pappy, you know what time it is. What time is it? I mean, it's still quite early. It's Gamba time. It's Gamba time, Pappy. Predictions are open. Place your bets on how you think this series will unfold, on who you think will claim the series, and advance on into the next round. So best of luck in the chat. As a reminder, this is a best of 5. Best of 5, not a best of 3. So best of luck with your predictions. Coming into this, herO is the favorite player, and of course it is a very, very rough time to be awake at the moment for Astrea. So there is a little bit working against him there, but in a PvP, anything is possible. The first Oracle has arrived, going to be catching a couple workers. So far, 2 pros going down. Not a bad start out of Astrea, but he needs more damage because, again, he is behind when it comes to the Nexus timing. herO, he's making 2 pros at a time as we speak. Astrea has still not finished up his natural. Damage needs to be done as Astrea, he opens up Phoenix, he hunts down the Oracle. The Oracle is going to go down. Double leverage shading into the main base, sorry, shading into the natural, shading to the mineral line. Probes are going down. Good damage here from Astrea. 4 worker kills in total. That's good, but again, we need more. As Astrea, he is still behind in workers. Meanwhile, second Oracle is moving out. Bold move here by Astrea to invest into a second Oracle here, especially considering, of course, that it was a Stargate opener into Phoenix from herO. So we'll see if Astrea can break through. We'll see if he can slip into the mineral line. Behind this, Astrea is taking into Blink, into a Twilight Council, into Blink Stalker. Stasis is going to be thrown down, and it will count out. Ooh, herO, he comes back too soon, and 3 probes get caught out. Not a bad stasis here, and Astrea, he recalls in time. Does recall back home in time. Does make it back. From here, we are going to be settling in. And we do see herO again embracing those Blink Stalkers. Meanwhile, herO, he counterattacks with his own Oracles, getting another 2 probe kills. herO maintains an economic lead. As you can see here, herO is on 40 workers compared to the 33 of Astrea. Oh, and he gets even more done. As there's no shield battery, Astrea, he was cutting corners, was hoping that there wasn't going to be an Oracle, but alas, there was. With that, 5 workers go down, and herO, he escapes, he gets away. Does get away with that Oracle. Ay, ay, ay. From here, Astrea, he is going to rally across the map. Blink is almost done, bear that in mind. So Astrea, he has a window of opportunity here with his Stalkers. We'll see what he can get done. See what he can achieve. As Astrea, he's going to be pushing forward. Oh, trying to catch up the sentries. He gets 1. 1 sentry goes down, gets a second. And can he get a third? 1 more volley, and he can. It gets all 3 sentries, doesn't lose any Stalkers. Very nice control here by Astrea, trying to bait the army into the stasis. But last here, he does spot it, does pull away, doesn't take the bait. Here, Safari's holding on to make up for the lack of Blink Stalkers. Here, he does have Immortals. He's building up his Immortal count as we speak. And Astrea, so far, he has denied entry into the natural. Both players taking up into their own charge, into +1. Astrea has map control. He's containing herO. So Astrea, he might be down in workers. He might be behind when he comes to the natural, but a third Nexus is on the way. So Astrea is taking the third base. He's containing herO, and he's hoping to get away with it. We'll see if he can. See if he can. As herO gets across the map with that Oracle, still alive, gets 2 more probes. Meanwhile, Astrea poking in. Let's catch a Stalker. So I'm just trying to balance the audio here. Goes in, force back. herO baiting out the stasis. Oh my god. So close. Astrea diving into the main. Does go for the dive. Depowers some of the production. And gets a pylon. Not bad. Ooh, we'll lose a Stalker in the process. Loses 1, loses 2. 2 Stalkers going down. Suddenly not as worth it for Astrea. Still maintaining his position. herO's got to assemble archives, getting ready for Archon production as well. Likewise, Astrea not too far behind in his tech. He's getting there. The Oracle's still being active. Getting the other 2 probes. Finally, the Oracle's going to go down. Does finally fall. And here he's looking to break out. Just tanks the stasis to the face. Another stasis here behind this. Gee, there are so many stasis traps. The pickup micro. herO, calm down. Very nice control. Very nicely done. As he's had enough defending, he's now moving out. And the question becomes, does he expand? Does he take a third? Oh, ooh, we'll take another stasis to the face. So this one catching to Immortals. A significant catch here in favor of Astrea. But it doesn't really have much to really capitalize on that. From here, he's backing off. And here, he's committed. He made his choice. He's been warping in. He's got +2 on the way. Warp Prism as well. Here, it's going to be a 2-base all-in. He's not expanding. Catches a Stalker. One Stalker goes down. Yeah, as you can see here, just warping in 7 units at a time. 5 Zealots and an Archon. It's all or nothing for herO. Astrea, can he survive? Can he hold? He's throwing down a line of stasis traps. They're being baited out. There's 3 shield bodies behind this. This is going to be the energy overcharge as well. herO is up in army supply. He does have a lot of Immortals and a lot of Archons. And Astrea's army is mainly very gateway focused, very Zealot heavy. The Zealots are good, but all it takes is a couple of Archons volleys and they will bring the Zealots down. So here he has the more efficient army. And Astrea, he has to fight with the shield batteries. He's going to be forced to engage. The Archons are getting a lot done. We can see Astrea coming, trying to come in from behind. Going for the Prism. The Prism, it's going to go down. Nice pick up, but you can see here the Zealots of Astrea, they just melt. They just completely melted. The Archons, they're busting through. Nice stasis. Stasis goes off, but it may just not be enough. Yeah, herO, he's just breaking on through. Again, the quality of herO's army was just too much. With a mass Immortal, with a mass Archon as well, it was insane. And here he just cuts through the main army of Astrea. The Stalkers doing what they can, picking up the Archons, but there's still 4 Immortals. Thankfully, there's no more Warp Prism, but you can see here he just peels up his Zealots, heads towards the natural. GG gets called, and herO takes game number 1. GG, well played. herO does take a lead in the series. Again, very nice execution there of the all-in out of herO. He was contained for quite some time, but that entire time he was building up the Archon count, building up the Immortal count. The supply was lying. The supplies were deceptively even, but as we mentioned, herO's army quality was just far greater. It was just a far greater army for herO. We saw how efficiently he cleaned up the Zealot wave of Astrea and how the Stalkers just couldn't really do much against that army either. We mentioned it, really what Astrea needed to go his way was, as we mentioned, that as the fight was beginning, he had to fight with the shield batteries. Shield batteries were a little bit too far away. I mean, props to herO for rotating and avoiding the shield batteries. Likewise, Astrea was also hoping that one of the stasis traps would pop up. The stasis traps, there was one good one earlier on before the fight when he caught the 2 Immortals, but outside of that, the stasis traps were lackluster. Here, he didn't notice them in time. He did bait them out, and as a result, there were no major stasis traps either. So, yeah, here he was Astrea was up against the wall, wasn't quite able to pull it off. With that, GG. GG, well played. herO, he does take the first game, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. It's going to be on ley lines. We didn't get to speak on it, but it looks like all the large, or most of the larger maps were vetoed. herO gets, if you noticed, I don't think there's anything left. Here we go. For Immortals behind Astrea needs disruptors ASAP. Against an all-in, you should not be able to get disruptors in time against that. You have to, as we mentioned, you have to rely on your site defense. You have to rely on your engagement as well to try to avoid the Archons with your Zealots. It's a very difficult kind of position to be in, for sure, 100%. It's on the defending player to pull that off, to also try to buy time as well. We had some nice moves out of Astrea. If you remember, he was able to snipe the Warp Prism. He was able to deny any reinforcements, but even still, that was not enough. Was a tough hold. Was definitely a tough hold. It also didn't help as well that that Astrea did open Stargate and did invest into the Oracles, and again, Astrea's Oracles at least did not pay for themselves anywhere near as much. Unfortunately, whether it came to dealing economic damage or the value that they gained with their stasis traps. Bearing in mind that Astrea did invest into 2. Meanwhile, we are settling in. It's going to be a 2-gate opener from Astrea, and this time 2-gate opener from herO. Okay, so after the chaotic game 1, we do have a much more standard start coming into game number 2 from both players. From here, we will soon have our tech of choice. We could open Stargate, we could open Twilight Council, we could even open Robo. herO, he is quite fond of Robo-based openers. I mean, we saw that in the last game with the 2-base all-in. As herO, he does go for the Nexus before the tech. Ooh, greedy play here by herO. Does throw down the faster expansion. Astrea, not too far behind him, also throws down a faster Nexus. Is a couple of seconds behind that of herO, but not the most, not the biggest of deals. So both players are being very economic, and we will soon embrace our tech. Astrea going for the Twilight Council. Oh, the force fields! Oh, the force fields, they are misplaced. A little bit of miscontrol there by herO. 2 force fields, and he does not catch the Stalkers. Astrea, he slips away, Papi. Oh my god, looped up those Stalkers, and with that, herO does not get a grasp on the army. So nicely done here by Astrea. And you can see herO just shaking his head a little bit on cams. Definitely not too happy with the outcome there. I say shaking his head, also a smile and a little bit of a grin, as is the case with the smiling assassin, as always. As always. As he's moving out, I believe he still has a couple of force fields left in him, but likewise, Astrea has counter force fields available as well. As here he threatens a push. He's going to reinforce. And a lot of this will come down to the force fields, will come down to the engagement. So farther, nice positioning here from Astrea. Here reinforcing with the depths, going to be threading a shade into the main. And Astrea, he is in position. Does wall off. So far, so good. Behind this, once again, we did mention how in the last game, or in the lead up to this game, here he's very fond of robo-based openers, and we saw that in the last game, which led into the all-in. Here in this game as well, it is a robo opener into Immortal Production, into a delayed Twilight Council. It is herO's go-to in PvP. As herO does get into the middle line, 3 probes go down. Not bad. For 2 adepts, ideally herO did want a little bit more value out of that. But herO does take an economic lead. Ooh, and it's a 2-base all-in. Let's go. It's going to be a short series, Papi. Oh my god. So it is going to be Glaives, not Charge. It's going to be a 2-base all-in here by herO. He can expand and take a 3rd base, but just for a limited saturation. This is going to be very committed. Again, Glaive adepts do not scale well into a longer game state, but what they can do is they can buffer for Immortals, they can dive on an army, and of course they can trade well against charge lots at least. Meanwhile, Astrea going for his own counter attack, catching the hallucination. No, he gets baited. No, the bait was real. Oh my god. The hallucination goes down for, what was that, 5 Stalkers. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I don't think I've ever seen such a successful hallucination. That was crazy. That was crazy. So Astrea, he got punished, and with that Astrea, he plummets in supply. He's forced to commit. He has to go in. No. But Astrea's still waking up, Papi. He doesn't know what's real, doesn't know what's fake. Like, what do you expect? Let him wake up, Papi. Let him wake up. Oh, no. And with that, herO does take a supply lead. Does take a lead. Here is Astrea going to be falling down here in Stalkers. Does fall behind. And here comes the all-in. Remember, this is already a 2-base all-in out of herO, and now there's even less Stalkers here for Astrea. There's just even less to work with. It was already going to be a tough hold. And here come the Adepts. Glaives is done. Astrea, he dives in. Oh, doesn't quite get the Prism. Gets 1 volley, but 1 volley is not good enough. He sees 3 Immortals. I mean, he cannot engage, not into this kind of army. And Astrea is even expanding and taking a 3rd. No. Shield batteries are now on the way, but herO now realizes that it isn't all in. But these shield batteries are late. These are late shield batteries. We can see Astrea coming from behind. He wants that Prism. Does want that War Prism. But here he's being very safe with the positioning here. Force fields get thrown out. Adepts shade in towards the main. Probes are falling. Astrea is being pulled apart. GG gets called, and herO will take game number 2. GG. GG, well played. That was a crazy bait, by the way. No, for herO to be like, oh no, I'm vulnerable, I'm out in the open with the hallucinated immortal, and with that baiting the blink, Astrea, he dove in, he got force fielded. As a result, he lost, I want to say it was 5 stalkers for nothing, for energy of a sentry. And remember, because herO was going for the all-in, every unit counts for Astrea. He needed everything to survive to defend against the all-in. Upon losing all those stalkers, that was game then and there. That was game then and there. It was also unfortunate that it took a while for Astrea to, of course, realize that it wasn't all-in and to recognize how much danger he was in. But everything just escalated so quickly out of control. With that, herO is up 2-0. herO needs one more game to advance on to the next round. Now, if you're a fan of Astrea, do not worry. He is still in this tournament. This is a double elimination bracket, so no one is being eliminated. Again, we're going to be leading to Abyssal Reef. Abyssal Reef is one of the, it is, I would say, the largest map in the current maps that were chosen to be played upon. The others were, of course, vetoed. And we'll see how this plays out. As in the bottom right-hand corner, we have herO for Weibo Gaming. And in the top left, we have Astrea from the land of the Americas. Let's go. We have our PvP. And again, welcome one and all to Abyssal Reef. On the one hand, I want to say that because the map is so large, because it's so defendable, we can see a more back and forth mid-game with both players getting to their third bases. That is all true. But of course, it is a PvP. And one of the big features of the Protoss race, of course, especially early on, is that they can set up proxies. They can reduce the time it takes to get across the map with warp-ins, of course, so the rush distance by ground isn't as impactful. So you can still be active, you can still be aggressive, you can still very much so be in the face of your opponent and still pull off all-ins. So we'll see how our players will approach this. It's going to be the 2-gate opener out of Astrea, and I would imagine herO, yep, only one gateway. Only one gateway from herO. He's going for a gate, Cybercore expand, economic opener out of herO. The question becomes, does Astrea try to punish him, or does he play macro? Does he try to macro out of it instead and play from behind? As you can see, the Cybercore's on the way for herO, the safety zealots as well. And yeah, let's go. The pylon has been placed. Ooh, but it looks like it's going to be a fake proxy pylon, not a real one. That is a location that you can proxy a robo, but the probe does abandon the pylon, so it looks like Astrea is not going for the proxy. Just faking a proxy instead. And herO, he doesn't care. He just expands. Again, a greedy economic opener out of herO. He does confirm that the pylon is missing, but he has no fear. Has no fear. Astrea, he pokes up the ramp, does confirm the single gateway, he checks the natural, confirms the expansion. We can see herO, he's looking for the pylon. herO, he's looking for the proxy. Trying to figure out what's going on, making sure he's safe and sound. Astrea, he's gonna use it! He comes back! Ooh, okay, never mind. I was like, is he gonna throw something down? No, he's just gonna expand. He's just going to expand from here. So as a result, herO is going to take an economic lead. He's going to be slightly ahead here in the economy, and the pressure is on Astrea to try to bounce back and try to make up for that. Astrea comes in with hallucinated Oracle. Alas, here he doesn't flinch, as herO didn't even go for his own Stargate. From here we're settling in. We have our takeover choice from herO. It's going to be a Twilight Council, so blink-based opener. For the first time this series, not a robot opener out of herO. Which means herO, he might just be setting up for a longer game state. Same can be said for Astrea, also a Twilight Council into Blink. So both players, they headed into Blink production. There isn't going to be a big Immortal advantage for either player in this kind of game state, as no one is rushing into a Robo, no one's rushing into Immortals. I'm feeling a macro game here. I'm feeling a third base. Well, we're headed in that direction. We'll see if we can get there, though. This is going to be an early move out here by Astrea. Has a lot of potential. The reason for this is early on, there's no Blink. Blink is on the way, but it's not ready. So ideally, Astrea wants to try to catch out the army with some force fields. We'll see if he can. As he's sneaking up on herO, does force field in the sentries, and the sentries are going to be targeted down. Nicely done. Very nice positioning here from Astrea. Locks down 2 sentries and a stalker. Will lose one of his own. And we'll lose a second sentry as well. But overall, these have been better trades for Astrea. Oh, I say that one Stalker gets knocked down. Up, up. Can hero get it? Up. He can. Oh my god. Whew. We do have a back and forth. Still, I would say a better trade for Astrea. He gets the final sentry. And the Stalker as well. Very nice pickoffs. Up. As he does have to get the hell out of here. Again, Astrea playing with fire. Pulls away. Turning back around, trading 1 for 2. Ooh, Astrea, this was not the fight he wanted to take. He gets punished. He turned around. He gets punished for it. That's 3 extra Stalkers falling for Astrea. It was a better trade for Astrea initially, but now less so. As Astrea is going to try to reinforce. We can see herO just chasing Astrea down. Does catch the Stalker. And Astrea's getting caught out. Oh no. Yeah, bleeding out far too much. Yeah, getting caught once again. In the mirror matchup, these are brutal losses. And again, it was just such a good start for Astrea. He just got too greedy. He just got too greedy. He got too excited. And I have to say, Juice shade towards the natural. And they get a probe, but GG gets called. Too many losses here. That was game-ending damage, and herO will take the series 3-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played again. Astrea, he had such a good start, catching the sentries, catching the Stalker. He initially had a better trade, and then very quickly he again got a little bit too he got too greedy there, turning back around, taking a follow-up fight. He lost everything in the process. He lost all the Stalkers that he had preserved. He had also rallied into the army as well, losing even more Stalkers and losing everything that early on. That's game then and there. You cannot afford that many losses that early on in the game in a mirror matchup. With that, GG. GG, well played. herO will take the series and will advance on into the next round. Whew. GG. GG. That was a shorter series, is what I will say. I say a shorter series, not even just the amount of games, but the length of the games. I was looking forward. I mean, you heard me, right? I was like, yo, if we both open Blink, and if Astrea backs off, we can get into like a third base, we can get into the mid game, we can saturate our bases and get into our economies. We were headed there kind of, but again, everything snowballed very quickly out of control, and we didn't quite get to embrace any kind of mid game between these players. Just non-stop all-ins, non-stop aggression. With that, GG well played. herO does advance on, and now we are getting ready for our next match of the night. Up next is going to be a ZVT between Reynor and Spirit. Another best of 5. Here we go. Here we go. And of course, our players, they're going to need some time. They're going to need some time to prepare. They're going to need some time to get their vetoes underway, so we can take this time as well. If you're in the chat, now is the time to drain your disruptors, massage your marines, hydrate all your hydras, get some snacks, get some food, get ready for the ZVT to come. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll be back with the final best of 5 of the night. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, I hope you enjoyed that lovely Brodo OC as we returned with our second series of the night, with our second best of 5. It's going to be a ZVT between Spirit and Reynor. Of course, we just wrapped up with our PvP. A very short best of 5 is what I will say between herO and Astrea. I'm hoping for something a little bit more in depth. I'm hoping for something a little bit more to sink our teeth into, I should say. But Reynor is going to be coming in as a heavy favorite, and we'll see how Spirit is able to handle the terror that is Reynor. Now, we have seen Spirit defeat Reynor in the past, especially in a longer later game scenario. I do think that that's where Spirit's strengths lie, especially in this matchup. We'll see if we can do that again. For those who remember, it was back on Post-Youth, if I remember correctly. Am I thinking Post-Youth, or am I thinking another map? But it was now a couple of years ago now that I think about it. But infamously in EPT Europe, Spirit did bring Reynor down. We'll see if he can do it again. We'll see if he can do it again. For the time being, we have our vetoes. We have the bans from Reynor, going to be Amygdala and Frostline. Meanwhile, the bans from from Spirits are going to be King's Cove and Whispers of Gold. Interesting choices here is what I will say. Whispers of Gold, the veto here is interesting to me just because we've seen a lot of success from Terran players being hyper aggressive on Whispers of Gold, but I did just mention how Spirit's strengths lie in a longer later game, so maybe it would make sense that he would want to get rid of a smaller map, as he doesn't want to give Reynor the opportunity to be aggressive. Unlike several Reynor, he is willing to be very much so in your face and very much so going for all these all-ins and committed play. So kind of taking that into consideration makes sense. Likewise, King's Cove, we spoke about this before, but it can be very difficult to defend your fourth. Very difficult to defend your fourth base on King's Cove. So if Spirit is playing for a longer later game state, trying to play macro, then King's Cove is a map to avoid. So it does veto those two maps that could otherwise hinder him from trying to turtle up and be defensive. From the side of Reynor, he does veto some of the more defensive maps. I'm referring to Amygdala. Amygdala is going to be vetoed. It can be very difficult being aggressive on that map. Oh, yo, we got some cams. Let's go. Oh my god, Reynor with the streamer room. Yo, we got the neon blue lights in the background. Let's go. We got the picture of himself with the championship trophy, I think, on the right hand side. Do love to see it. Let's go. Oh, no, is he smudging? Okay. Well, not yet. But it might just be cold in Italy. I mean, it is winter, of course, in some parts of the world. But yeah, Amygdala makes sense when it comes to getting rid of some of these macro-oriented maps. Frostline, I'm less certain of. I'll be honest, Frostline is an interesting veto to me, just because on the one hand, yes, the map is large. That is true, the map is large, but at the same time, it's a little more exposed, a little more wide open. True, 8 Raxes can be effective on that map, so I'm curious what the rationale was. For the time being, though, in the bottom left-hand corner, we have a Reynor, the Basilisk. And in the top right, we have Spirit, the Polish Terran. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gamba going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. We're smudging. Let's go. Beautiful. As you're going to be saying, yo, shout out to the sponsors of the event, SCBoy, of course. They do so much for the community for StarCraft. We spoke about Dragon Ball. Apparently, we have, I believe that was F91 as Goku and Shao Tse as Vegeta. There we go. Confirmed. Confirmed. As for now, Spirit's going to be opening up a little bit old school here. It's going to be a 2-Rax Reaper opener out of Spirit. Interesting. So 2-Rax Reaper here will allow Spirit to be much more active across the map, much more aggressive. The goal here with the opener of Spirit is to deny the third base, is to deny and contain the Zerg player on 2 bases for as long as possible. We'll see how effective this is going to be for the side of Spirit. Meanwhile, Reynor across the map just going for a more standard opener into Hatch Gas Pool. No crazy gases opener that is less viable on a map like Leyline, so he's going to be settling in from here. And now that I think about it, that might be the reason, one of the reasons as to why Reynor did veto Frostline as well, is because you can get away with something like a gases opener on Abyssal Reef. You cannot do that on Frostline because of how exposed and how vulnerable the bases are. So if we take that into consideration, I mean, it would make sense if that's the playstyle that Reynor wants to play on those larger maps, which we have seen from him before. For now, going to be droning. The initial Reapers are moving out, and of course Reynor is aware. we go. Reynor brought out the cam. This will get intense. Yes, if you were watching the group stage of Masters Coliseum, you would know that Reynor did not use cams. Reynor, he did not use cams during the group stage. He only had his still image. So yeah, I'm excited to see that apparently he does have a cam. Let's go. Maybe he bought one for Christmas. It's he may have gotten one for Christmas. It's possible. So we got some Reynor cam going on. Behind this, Spirit going for his third CC before Factory, third CC before third Racks as well. So very greedy follow-up here out of Spirit. The Reapers, they did not, or they were not able to deny the expansion though, but they can't get the Queen. Well, the Queen does go down. Massive pickup. Very nicely done here by Spirit. Picks off a couple of links as well, but Spirit did not get the expansion. Can he get another Queen? No shot. Oh, the Reapers are getting low. Nice shuffling here from Spirit, moving back that weekend. Reaper does pull away. The Queen taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage, and he goes for the dive. Oh, he wants it. He wants the Queen. Can he get it? He can. One more. Oh my god, the Queen goes down. Link speed kicks in, and Reynor with a punish. Yeah, he shuts down the Reapers. He gets one, he gets two. He's gonna get the third Reaper as well. It should not escape as he attempts to get the hell out of the main, but it's gonna be chased down. But all in all, on the one hand, yes, so the Reapers are cleaned up, that is true. But mate, Spirit, he got two Queens. Like, that is impactful. Two Queens did go down. Behind this, remember the third CC was before the Factory, and it is almost done at this point. So a very greedy follow-up here out of Spirit. Reynor is somewhat aware. Speaking of greed, Spirit has no units. Oh no. Oh no. Spirit, he has nothing to defend. The Hellion production's on the way, but that Raxit might just be denied. Sorry, the starport even. That's a massive pickup, and there's the cancel. Oh my god. A massive delay on the starport. That means a delay on Medivacs, delay on Banshees, delay on everything. And Spirit is stuck at home. So nice pickup here from Reynor. Again, Spirit, he chose not to make any Marines. As Spirit has been cutting a load of corners, but I mean, he's the king of greed. Like that's what he does. True. That's who he be. As we have our add-ons on the way, starport is being rebuilt from scratch. Hellions can finally be active. But this is still a very awkward game state for the side of Spirits. Likewise for Reynor as well, I'm sure. Banshee production has begun. Oh, you forgot to hydrate. Oh no. Don't forget, as Hellions are diving to the mineral line, some of the workers will line up. 8 drones on. Not bad. 8 workers do go down. 9 drones go down. Yeah, the Queen's still quite in position, and damage is dealt. Very nice run by here by Spirit. That was 4 Hellions for 9 drones. Well worth it. With that Spirit, he is able to take an economic lead. Bearing in mind, he has mules. Does take a lead, can now soon land his third base on location. Getting to his 2 E-bays, getting to his bioproduction. Additional Hellions have arrived. And they get some decent shots off. Roasting up those links. Reynor attempting to expand and get a 4th. Spirit, he does spot the expansion, he is aware. Sorry, just catching on the chat. Did everyone hydrate their Hydras? Oh, no, but I drained my Disruptor. Did you massage your Marine? Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't forget to marinate your Marauders. You're all animals. All animals. As we are settling in. With his Spirit, he does bank up his 2 Banshees, moving out across the map. Making his way towards the main. Likewise, another Hellion run, but this time the Queens are in position. Very nice movement here by Reynor. He looks down the Hellions. Makes up for his otherwise dead mineral line earlier. With those dead 9 workers. But the Banshees, they do wreak havoc. The Queens are, of course, busy with the Hellions. And 4 drones go down. 4 up to 5 worker kills. Up to 6. Up to 7. Oh my god. Reynor getting the... Sorry, Spirit getting the most out of this. 8 workers go down, abusing the fact that the Queens were otherwise busy. So very meticulous control here by Spirit. Very nicely done. With that, Spirit once again takes an economic lead. As Reynor was attempting to recover, and you can see a bit of frustration there from Reynor. As he's not in the ideal position. Not in an ideal position here. He has to re-drone, resaturate once again. Trying to get into the mid game. Into proper 4-base saturation. Now Reynor's taking infestation bits, soon to be 2-2 as well. Likewise, Spirit throwing down 2 more factories. Jesus, that is a very heavy factory setup here from Spirit. Curious. Taking his 4th, not going for a 3-base all-in. What I will say, on the one hand, Spirit has been killing a lot of workers, that is true, but because Spirit has been throwing away his Hellions, there's no presence on the map, there's no denial of creep. The creep is already actually encroaching upon the 4th. The creep has been untouched, it's been uncontested. So the creep has been very much so on point here for Reynor. And finally, Spirit can start cleaning it up. Can move in. Gonna be forced to pick up. Spirit is being active. So far, steering forward. Again, it's going to be on Spirit here to just clean up as much creep as possible to give himself the best chance at defending this 4th. And they're collapsing in the army, at least trying to. Nice positioning here with the Banshees. They get free damage on the Ling Bane. Spirit catching up 4 active tumors. And both players are soon to max. Reynor, he should get there first. We now have the Hydra Den on the way. So Reynor, he's not going Ling Bane into Hive, into Ultra. Going Ling Bane into Hydra, potentially into Lurker Tech. So Reynor is taking a different direction. Behind this double expanding. Getting a 6th and a 7th expansion. Likewise, Hive is done and Viper production has begun. And we don't really expect Reynor to engage fully into any of these bases without the Vipers. And they need time to build up to gather energy. Spirit taking the center expansion. This is going to be a difficult base for Spirit to hold on to, considering that no creep has really been denied here. We'll see if he can hold on. Reynor going to be engaging. 3 tank shots going up. Nice trades from Spirit. But he needs more than just these little trades. He needs SimCity. He needs to set up a wall of CCs, of depots, turrets and sensor towers. Ooh, as one Banshee goes down. But we spoke about it in the lead up to this series, how Spirit, he is known for his late game. He's known for his maxed out army composition and his army control. That is where Spirit thrives. That's where he has defeated Reynor in the past. Is if he can get into that kind of game state, and he's almost there. Almost. As I mentioned before, he has triple factory production, so he's got a lot of tanks. Very tank heavy style. Cool, medevac goes down. Ghost production has begun. I'll be honest, I'm not too confident in the idea of walling up and cutting the map in half here on ley lines, but we'll see if Spirit can pull it off. I'm just concerned just because of how exposed that low ground expansion is. As Reynor, he gets a tank. Does get a tank. Again, it's on Spirit to slow the game down as best he can. He has some decent setup here on the low ground, but I still feel like we're lacking some SimCity here to wall up. It's 3-3s on the way for both players. Nuke in production for Spirit. That will help him zone away. Also getting the high ground planetary. So far, so good. Meanwhile, Reynor, I believe he hasn't really teched in any big direction. What I'm referring to here is there's no Ultra Cavern, there's no Lurker Den, there's no Spire for a Greater Spire. Reynor has yet to invest. He's still just hyper-fixated on Lingbane Lingbane Hydra. Lingbane Hydra Viper. As Reynor, he's on 100 drones. Jesus. That's a lot of workers. Now, something that Reynor ideally does need to do here in this position that Cyril is amazing at is to hyperfixate on saturating the fringe bases. Right now, even though Reynor has a lot of expansions, the reality is that he's not really mining from a lot of them. He's not mining from the southern bases. And he needs to, because if he doesn't, then it wouldn't matter that he has those bases, because eventually, Spirit, he can take them himself, and he can expand himself and take those resources, take those minerals instead. That might factor into this as the game progresses. Reynor moving in, gets a tank. And you can see it on the minimap actually. So this is what Reynor's doing. He actually has the most southern right-hand base saturated, and the one in between that is not. So again, he is saturating the exposed bases. So nice moves here out of Reynor. The observer hasn't pointed it out, but it is, I would say, a nice move here overall. He is thinking further ahead. Ideally, you want to preserve the resources closer to your main. As Reynor is expanding on the right-hand side. Sneaking up in the army. That's a lot of ghosts. Boat gets activated. Reynor, he's going to commit. He's going for the planetary. Ooh, the Vipers are going to get sniped. One Viper survives. And the Bailings, they will bring down the expansion. He gets 7 SCVs. He's going for the Ghosts. Ooh, doesn't quite get them. The Ghosts survive. That's a planetary. 1 command center going down. And a tank. There's no K trade here for Reynor. Did lose his Vipers. Meanwhile, finally, we have some tech. It is going to be the Spire. Working towards the Greater Spire, I would imagine. And technically, this is all that Reynor has to do, is deny the base. Deny the expansions over and over again. Lings, they flood in. This is a very cheap army for Reynor. He's going for the CCs. He's going for the tanks as well. The tanks are exposed. Ooh, no support here for the tanks. He gets 2 tanks already. Comes in first round. And where are the Hellbats? Where are the Hellbats? Where are the Marines? Where's any support? It's not here. Even forcing friendly fire. And Spirit, he had a massive opening here, a massive vulnerability in his defense. And Reynor, he takes advantage of it. He does abuse it. 14 SVs go down. He got what, like 6 tanks? Took down some ghosts, force friendly fire. At the same time, Spirit, he will take down an expansion towards the top left. But again, killing a base doesn't really matter as much. Not in this position. Not from the side of Reynor, I should say. He has plenty of bases, plenty of saturation, plenty of workers. What matters is Spirit's defense. And that's where he is struggling. And again, this is a map that is more difficult to turtle up on compared to, you know, your Abyssal Reef, your Neo Violet Square, Ultra Love. This map is more wide open, more so than the others. So the map isn't helping you here as another tank goes down. Once again, see Spirit throwing down a wall of CCs. And Spirit should not push out. The reality is, given the game state, the win condition for Spirit is to defend, is to turtle, and to take a better fight defensively first, and then counterattack. And wait for Reynor to push into him and take a bad fight. I mentioned Hellbats before. Typically, the ideal late game composition from Terran is Ghost Tank. Is Ghost Mech, I should say. Ghost with mech support as well. But we have tanks, we have ghosts. Where are the Hellbats? Where's the support for the tanks? Tanks are exposed, they're going down one after the other. As 2 tanks falling. Planetary as well. And the Ghost Army just having a hard time responding. Likewise, I would argue that Spirit, he has too many Marines, too much bio. Whereas that could otherwise be spent in a more efficient army against Ling Bane. And Reynor, he's just rotating and abusing how exposed these tanks are. Tanks are good, but as you can see here, on their own, they can't really do much. No one Lings can just collapse on them and get surrounds. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I saw Spirit investing into the Fusion Core and into Liberator Range. And again, getting into libs, getting into tanks, all good things, but not quite there yet. As the nuke goes off. Get some lava. Get some overlords. Lib's either going to be harassing across the map instead, and they get some damage done. But, I mean, look at how exposed this low ground base is, even with the bio army here. It's just so wide open. As Spirit, he's rotating over to expand on the right-hand side. Reynor once again collapsing in, getting another tank. Yeah, this position is forfeit. SCB's mules going down, CCs they have to lift. Likewise, Reynor, he defends back at home. No, this is the position that we spoke about. Like, these tanks are all on their own. Bailings, they roll in. Oof, they shut down the planetary. They shut down the siege line. And I don't see how Spirit can actually hold on to that low ground. I'll be honest, not anymore. In the lead up to this kind of game state, that's where we did need to set up with the walls, with the CCs, with the planetaries. That time has come and gone. You know, we're past the setup phase. And now it would be a bit too late. As Spirit still has a comparable army, that is true. At a certain point, he might just be forced into an all-in. And the reality is, I mean, like, again, to give credit to Spirit and to his force currently, if he was forced to push onto creep and forced into an all-in, he could actually take a fight. He could do well with it. The League main rolls in, once again getting more tanks. Oh, just the one though. Better engaged for Spirit. Low ground CC is denied. As things they just slip into mineral lines, getting more SCVs. Spirit out of position. Reynor even just burrowing underneath the CC. But Spirit, he is hanging on. Even though Spirit has been losing tank after tank, the ghost count has still been quite healthy for Spirit. If he loses all the ghosts, that might just be game. But as long as he retains that ghost count, he still definitely has opportunity here in game one. That's potential. Hydra range. Reynor, he did forget Hydra range, just now finishing. Let's go. As Lings, they do hit the center expansion once again. Should be brought down. Spirit, he does deny the base on the right hand side at least. Reynor going for the planetary. Planetary's exposed. Tanks are too far back. The base goes down. Spirit is killing hatcheries across the map though. 21 drone kills. Not bad. Guess 21 workers. But this tells me that now Reynor's army can be larger, as he won't be replacing those workers. He can just keep committing, rolling in time and time again, knocking down another planetary. Spirit always one step behind as he now rotates, but he wasn't quite in position. And that's kind of like the tail of this game here, is just I was gonna say lack of mobility. Spirit's army is quite mobile, but unfortunately just has been unable to keep up with the rotations of Reynor time and time again. If you notice, Reynor, every time he attacks, the Bio Ghost army isn't there. It isn't there to defend, isn't there to respond. Despite being up in army supply. So Reynor's just been pulling Spirit apart. Pushing towards center. Once again, this base, there's nothing here. So another expansion is just going to go down. By the time Spirit responds, the base is already dead. Like, the base is already fallen. And that's all it is. It's like whack-a-mole. Like, it's just Reynor. He's just always attacking wherever Spirit isn't. Spirit does take down an expansion at least. Gets a hatch round. Oh! Does pull away in time. Oof. As the full medevac goes down. Another Ling run by. Again, only Liberators in position. Yo, now we finally get some Blue Flame Hellions. Just two, but we're kind of getting there, kind of. But yeah, I'm just not really too fond with the composition that Spirit has just stuck with throughout this. Continuing bio production. Just now investing into advanced servos. Another tank got to go down. Yeah, Reynor, he does hit bottom right. Does spot the army, so Reynor, he backs off. Spirit, he holds on to the expansion. Top left is going down. Now, remember what we said earlier. Even though these bases are falling, even though things are looking bleak for Spirit as he's losing so much, he still has an army that can kill Reynor. That is still true. On the one side, it's like, like Spirit, he's never there to defend his bases. That's true. But on the other side, his main army has been, for the most part, untouched. I'm referring to his heavy ghost count. And he has been replacing the tanks he's been losing. As Lings, they still avoid the main fight. They go for the production. Oh, they try to at least. You see Spirit, he doesn't want to respond. Still moving out. As Reynor, he evacuates the expansion. Pulls away. The best defense is a good offense for Spirit, essentially, where he's just been abandoning these bases and just pushing forward and gaining ground. And now he has these southern bases. Remember earlier we were speaking about how important it was for Reynor to prioritize mining here, because eventually Spirit will take these bases, and now he has them. Now he has these bases, he has these expansions. And thankfully for Reynor, there are less resources for Spirit to take, because he took them himself. As Reynor comes in from the right hand side. Catches a couple of tanks. Very nice flank. Oh, the tanks were exposed once again. That's going to be every single tank going down. Ay, ay, ay. Spirit, he gets caught with his pants down. Reynor, he finally gets the fight he was looking for. Completely resets the tank count. And Spirit, he plummets in supply. Ay, ay, ay. And with that, Reynor, he can keep remaxing. Spirit cannot. Spirit is attempting to retake the center base and taking bottom right, but Reynor's remax, and he should just not allow these bases to get up and running. So they keep pushing in. Now we finally have some more Hellion production, but at this point it might just be too late. And these bases are being knocked down. From here, Reynor could just go straight to the main and go for the production. See what he goes for. Latching another expansion. Reynor backs off. He respects the main army. Reynor pulls away. Don't get too impatient. Oh, we had the sigh out of Reynor. He's like, pinche Terran, papi. They just don't die. How many bases do I have to kill? Just Just stay calm. Don't get too excited. Don't ape into a wall of tanks. As again, Spirit, he has remaxed. And Spirit still has the, he has a super maxed army. Despite catching all the tanks earlier, Reynor wasn't quite able to deal any critical damage to the economy, to the production. But I believe the tank count is still very low compared to what it once was. So Reynor takes on the CC. Likewise, here we go. We have an actual Blue Flame Hellion army that can contest against the Lings. Morphs into the Hellbats. Reynor, he has to abandon this position and the base is going to go down. He has to respond. Drones are going down. So successful attack here from Spirit. Meanwhile, Reynor going for the production. Let's go. Finally, just going straight into the main, which I do appreciate. And Spirit, he has to respond, taking down another expansion. Another hatchery is going to be falling. Trading base for a base. And you're shutting down the planetary. As Spirit, he did race back home with the ghosts. Reynor, he's aware. He should know that now the ghosts are out of position, which means the tanks are exposed. He's going for them. He's going for the kill. Tanks are going to be going down. Again, the ghosts, they're stuck in the main. They're not here. And Reynor, he can keep going. And he will. Going for the most important mining base here for Spirit. It finally goes down. Spirit down to 14 SCVs. He has no economy. He has no mining. As Spirit, he did come back home with those ghosts. And again, Reynor, he saw the opportunity. He went for it. Oh my god, the Burrowed Banes! Let's go! The Burrowed Banes pop off. Oh, Reynor, he's assumed the degen position. The foot is up. Let's go. He has taken his stance. He's ready. He's gaming. He's back online. Spirit is going to attempt that expansion. This time his army's all together. Lingsley coming from behind. Reynor attempting the surround. That's a lot of ghosts. Nice spread here from Spirit, but it's only going to be ghosts remaining here. As there's plenty of detection, the army does dive in. Nice spread here from Spirit. He shuts down the Hydra, shuts down the Ling Bane, and Spirit will take the fight. But what's important, even though Spirit does win this engagement and he can keep pushing to knock down the base, what's important is that Reynor can remax. Reynor, he can remax, and Spirit cannot. And the Banelings, oh, they dive in. He goes to the dive, he collapses on the army. GG gets called, and Reynor will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Reynor will take a lead in the series, and we'll put a point on the board. GG, well played. Again, I wasn't too fond of Spirit's setup coming into the later game. I saw someone in the chat saying that like Spirit, he left Reynor to his own devices for too long. I don't think that was the case there from the side of Spirit. I think unfortunately we spoke about it. We tried to at least shed a light on it as well. The fact that Spirit, even though he did get up to his own 6 base economy, even though he was looking to secure himself in Turtle, I don't think he did an amazing job at properly fortifying those bases. And once they started going down, they never got back up and running. We spoke about it, but like the setup phase at that point had concluded, and there was no way for Spirit to really fortify those locations anymore because it would take too long. I do think that he misses opportunity to do so, referring to throwing down bunkers, throwing down more CCs, throwing down planetaries to protect especially that center location, that low ground expand, which was exposed for so long, and Spirit could never really take a fight there. So I do think definitely the setup there was lacking. Likewise, the army transition as well. It took so long for Spirit to finally start making Hellions and Hellbats. He was stuck on Biotank for most of that game, which was shocking to me. Again, usually Spirit, he's usually a lot more crisp when it comes to switching into Ghost Mech, into like proper Ghost Mech as well, where it's like purely Ghost into Tank, Thor, Liberator, Hellion, like Widowmine. But at the same time, like I also understand that this map isn't really conducive to this style. It can be quite difficult to pull this off on ley lines, but it can be much easier on some of these other maps. And I mean, the vetoes are limited in a best of 5. Up next, Neon Violet Square. I spoke about how difficult it can be on ley lines to properly secure yourself and turtle up with that kind of playstyle to get into late game. On Neon Violet Square, it is going to be a lot easier here, at least when it comes to your initial 5 base economy. Getting a 6th base, that could be a little bit more difficult here. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this plays out. Oh boy. I would not be surprised if Spirit plays the same though. If his goal here is to just turtle, defend, and max out. The Dragon Balls. Oh, as we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top left hand corner, we have our Italian Zerg player, Reynor for Basilisk. In the bottom right, we have the Polish Terran. It is Spirit. Be out there. Let's go. As Reynor is going for a 15 hatch opener. Now, if you recall, it was a while ago at this point, but this is something that we did bring up in game number 1, referring to the openers here in ZVT. And if you recall, I was thinking about Frostsign, and I was trying to come up with an idea as to why it was vetoed. If you recall, we spoke about gaseous openers. We spoke about gaseous openers and how they can be quite trendy on some of these larger maps, but they are not viable on Frostsign because of how exposed the natural and how vulnerable the natural is and how far away it is compared to the third base. And here on some of these other maps like Neon Violet Square, like Abyssal Reef, and like King's Cove, it is more viable to go gasless. And that's what we're seeing here. We have a gasless opener out of Reynor. What I'm referring to here is 15 hatch into 15 pool into 0 gases whatsoever. So this is gasless. The goal here is to cut corners, to be as greedy as possible from the side of the Zerg. Meanwhile, we do see that Spirit went for CC first, so it makes sense. This is kind of like, in a way, the new Radisson Station. I think Radisson Station is a little bit more extreme, but regardless, it's a game agreed. CC first out of Spirit, gasless opener out of Reynor. Now, the downside of a gasless opener is that you have no link speed. You have no link speed, and what that means is that it can be difficult to keep up with Hellion harass, as Hellions are faster than your slow links, and they can outmaneuver you, they can outposition you, and get into a mineral line and roast up an economy. But the reason why this is more viable on a map like Neon Violet Square is because of how defendable the natural and the third base is. Coming into the natural on this map, there is a very narrow ramp, so and likewise, you can also take the pocket expansion as well, and even the third base, the entry points into the third are quite limited compared to other maps where there can be multiple entry points or where you do not have the high ground advantage. As Spirit, he's going for a 3rd CC before 2nd racks. Let's go. This is the greediest build you can go for. It's CC first into 3rd CC before 2nd racks before factory. Just ultra greed out of Spirit. You do love to see it. We actually saw something similar to this yesterday in Spirit series against SCBoy, if you recall, where Spirit cut as many corners as possible and he got away with it against SCBoy. And this led into a 3 base 8 racks all in. But we'll get to Spirit's build. Just quickly wrapping up on Reynor. Again, just because of how defendable, how easy it is to rotate between the bases, how limited the attack paths are towards your natural and your third base, that means that on a map like Neon Violet Square, it is more viable and it is much easier to defend with purely queens and slow links. You are less vulnerable to Hellion dives. So as a result, Reynor, he goes gasless. You can see he still has no gas, takes his 3rd, and Reynor, he double expands. He's got his 3rd base, and he goes for his 4th base on location as well in the pocket base. So again, here on Neon Violet Square, it's a very unique map. What you're seeing here, you cannot see on any other map in the current map pool. If you try it yourself, you will die. It's a game agreed. We're cutting all the corners. Again, 4 hatch setup here out of Reynor with 0 gas. Likewise, 3rd CC out of Spirit before the factory. It's just hyper greed. Into a 4th CC before oh my god, 4 CC before Starport out of Spirit. Again, you do not get greedier than this. We have seen Spirit be greedier than this on Radisson Station, but that was a different map pool. You know, here on Neon Violet Square, this is the map where you just cut all the corners. You can see the observer himself is shocked to see the 4 CC. It's just all about greed. It's all about being greedy. It's all about just rushing into a boosted economy who outgreeds who. The only thing we're missing is Reynor not going for the gold, as there is a gold base on Neon Violet Square as well. And again, what you're seeing here, the builds of Spirit and the builds of Reynor, only really possible here on Neon Violet Square. You can maybe get away with it on Abyssal, maybe, or even that. Even here, double eBay at a Spirit, double eBay. Spirit, this is his army, by the way. He has 4 Marines and 2 Hellions. Like, Spirit doesn't really have much of an army at all. Likewise, neither does Reynor. Like, Reynor doesn't really have much of a force either. As Reynor's just now taking his gases. From here, Reynor should be opening up Roach. Double Evo Chamber out of range. I believe Reynor still has no Roach Warren. I could be mistaken, but I believe he has not set one up. But just now getting into Double Evo Chamber, into gases. If either of these 2 players went for a 2-base all-in, then the other player would have just died. Like 100%. Like Spirit would be dead or Reynor would be dead. Like they just yeah, cutting every single corner. Let's go. Drifting all over the place. We be fast, we be furious. As Reynor now at the almost 6-minute mark has started Link Speed. Link Speed has finally begun. Likewise, Lair is on the way. Extra gas is being taken. Baneliness as well. Reynor, he's skipping Roaches, rushing into Link Bane. Because he's skipping Roaches again, this does once again kind of solidify the fact that if Spirit was to be going for a more aggressive build, he would have just killed Reynor straight up. Reynor would just died. But again, it goes both ways. Spirit is 120% greed. Here it's like 200% greed, but it's both ways. I'm emphasizing how greedy Spirit is. Reynor is also just as greedy. Like it goes both ways here. As Spire is now on the way for Reynor. Second factory for Spirit. He's establishing that 4th base. And we spoke earlier how here on Neon Violet Square, it is easier to get up to your 5-base economy, fully secure. We're getting there. I mean, Reynor is already on a 5-base economy. And because the map is so large, even though the creep has gone completely uncontested, by this point, Reynor would already be touching tips with the 4th base of Spirit. Here, Reynor, he's only covering his bases and not even halfway across the map, just because of how large it is here on Neon Violet Square. So Spirit, he has more freedom. He has more freedom. He has more map control as well. He has more time to himself. So this greedy style and eventual like turtle play out of Spirit can be or should be more successful on this map as well. Like, there are a lot of extremes in the current map pool, and I feel like the current map pool does emphasize the importance of maps even more so than previous map pools as well. Like, very often the maps dictate how players play and how they approach the matchup. Meanwhile, the Spire is done. Mutas are going to be on the way for Reynor, and I believe the Spire, okay, has been scouted. Spirit is aware. Turrets get thrown down immediately. But I do really like Muta play here on Neon Violet Square. In general, Muta play can be amazing on these larger maps, just because typically when you play Muta, you're vulnerable, right? Your ground army is suffering as a result because you're investing so heavily into Muta that you're vulnerable to an attack. But because how large this map is, it goes both ways, where Spirit, the likelihood of him counterattacking is a lot lower as it takes so long to get across the map. So Reynor, he is safer to invest into Mutas like this. Now again, thankfully Spirit did scout it, so he is aware, he's getting ready, the turrets are finishing up, and the pressure, the onus is now going to be on Spirit to keep up with the movement of Reynor. We'll see if he can. Actually, you can see Spirit looks like he's getting ready for a counterattack instead. Mutas, they do hit the mineral line. SCBs are going to be going down, the 4th base is under fire. Marines have to respond. 6, 7 SCV kills. Oh, and Spirit is having a hard time keeping up. 10 SCVs going down. Reynor, he's maxed. Spirit, he has begun Thor production, going for the gold. Interesting expansion pattern here. I would have assumed that Spirit would have expanded towards the right-hand side away from his opponent, but he's expanding towards Reynor instead with the gold. Risky maneuver here by Spirit. As mutas, they break through into the main. They take down the turrets. Spirit, he doesn't respond. He's stuck at the gold. Marines are making their way in towards the main base. So the medevacs go down. Bit of mismovement there by Spirits. Ay. And Reynor, he's getting a lot done here. He's getting a lot done. He gets a tank. Ooh, we'll take a couple of shots to the face, so we'll bleed out a couple of mutas. A couple of mutas who go down. Reynor. Once again, he has assumed the position. Tower defense, yeah. All the turrets, Bappy. Let's go. He was smiling upon seeing all the turrets that were waiting for him. True. True. But yeah, Spirit, he's turtling up. He's throwing down more and more turrets. More Thors. True. Oh, he's listening to the stream. But thankfully, Reynor, he has not been neglecting his ground army. He's got plenty of Ling Bane, and he's collapsing in. He's going for the gold. Marauders, they stand their ground. The bio army does kite back. The planetary is going to fall, but the SCVs are saved. There's a nice movement there from Spirit. He does save his workers, saves all of his bio. But can he maintain this position? As the goal for Reynor should be to remax and keep trying to knock down that gold base time and time again. Now, as you can see, due to the, of course, squares in the center, due to the SimCity, this base is more defendable and more fortifiable than the previous bases on ley lines. So I wouldn't believe that Spirit, he can take some better engagements here, as we already saw. Was able to trade against Reynor. Moving forward with those tanks. And you can see the other difference between Neon Violet Square and ley lines. It isn't just how large it is, it isn't just how defendable these bases are. But I mean, you can see here that there aren't really many avenues of attack for Reynor. The mutas make up for that because they don't really care as much about ground terrain, so they do hit to the right hand side. But if it wasn't for the muta play, like Reynor, he'd be forced to only go for frontal assaults. So it is much easier for Spirit to be in position. At least if it wasn't for the mutas. Ling Bane rolls in. See, Spirit is in position. This time Reynor does not get the planetary. I think this is one of the first times, including game 1, where Spirit, he's actually ready for the Ling Bane and deflects it. So much stronger defense here from Spirit compared to previously. See, Spirit is making 4 libs at a time. You can see he's fully walled up here. And Reynor, he's going to have to start thinking further ahead. Now, he already has double Spire. He's working on double upgrades. From here, I think it'd be wise to start working towards a greater Spire. Start working towards spell casters as well. I am concerned that if Reynor were to stick with a more low-tier army like Ling Bane Muta, even further in this game compared to the previous one, I don't think it's going to be as effective. But we'll see. As Spirit, he's going to be able to clear up some of this creep. You can see Spirit leapfrogging forward with his wall. You know, mutas, they do avoid the wall entirely. They head towards the main. Production under fire. All the Liberators have arrived. And Liberator anti-air is no joke. Ooh, shots going to be going off. Massive connections. Yeah, the muta cloud gets thinned out quite heavily. And the muta count is going to be reset. Again, Liberators, you think they have freedom on the ground. They have freedom in the sky. And the muta count goes down to 3. And with that, you can see Reynor shaking his head. He lost everything. Ooh. The production team, calm down. The zoom on Reynor after he lost everything. Oh no. SCBoy, calm down, papi, calm down. We didn't need the reaction shot. But Reynor, he did have a big reaction to losing everything. You can see Reynor now teching, but this is late tech. I have to criticize Reynor a little bit for this. The Hydrogen and the Ultra Cavern just finished. And Reynor, he has 0 mutas. Oh, sorry, I believe he has 3 left over. He has 3 left over. Nidus on the way. Kindness plating, now with the Ultras. And again, Spirit, he is much more successful here in his defense so far. Really need to introduce SCBoy to Broyos. We do. For those who maybe don't watch SCBoy events, very often whenever there's a moment like that, when a player has a big reaction and they're smojing, they love to zoom into the player face. They love the drama. They're like, oh, cry for us more, Reynor. It's like, oh my god. Calm down, SCBoy, calm down. As Reynor does hit the right hand side, the planetary and the mules should go down. That was a lot of mules, which was only energy, bear that in mind. So trading Lingbane for energy. You can see the Spirit is killing his own Thors, as Thors have no more purpose, as there are no more mutas. Nidus into the Bugger base. Spirit out of position. Does he notice? Does he respond? His army is rotating, but the Nidus will complete. Lings are having a bit of a harder time going for run-bys. They do get one tank. Libs are set. The freedom is here. And Spirit, he will hold. Reynor's bank is huge. It is big, but I would say that Spirit has a bank. If you were watching in the previous game, Spirit, he never built up a bank. I think at most he had like 2,000 minerals. Like Spirit, he was constantly trading, constantly losing bases, losing expansions, losing mineral lines. This game, Spirit actually has built up a force. Because he has a bank, I would say that Spirit's actually in a better position. Reynor has a larger bank. That is true. He has more minerals, he has more gas, but he has to because Reynor's army is less efficient. That's typically the dynamic here in ZVT, is that a Zerg player needs a better economy because they're going to be trading worse. As Lingbane is going to be rolling in, the Bajinga machine working against Reynor. Oof. As there's some power bombs off. The power bombs, they get a lot of damage. Oh, the medevacs! Medevacs, they do survive. Things are slipping in. Now, this is where opportunities are going to be starting to rise up here for Reynor, because these fringe bases for Spirit are exposed. I'm referring to the base on the right and the base all the way on the left-hand side. It is going to be much more difficult for Spirit to hold on to these fringe expansions as our planetary falls. And Spirit having a harder time keeping up. Pachinko in action. Let's go. And here we go. We'll see if Spirit can defend. Reynor splitting up between the bases. Liberators have arrived. Again, this northern base is going to be denied. Vipers are looking for any kind of stray tanks. So far, Spirit has yet to really maintain any of these fringe bases. He's trying to. Has yet to pull it off. You can see Spirit, he does want to knock down bottom left, but in doing so, he will expose the right-hand side. So Reynor, he can go for a run-by at the same time. For now, meeting up with the main army, and the armies are going to be clashing. Oh, forced to pick up. Empty medevac goes down. Spirit, he has to pull away. Likewise, Reynor knocking down those rocks, creating an opening into the mineral line. Forcing Spirit to siege. Reynor, he rotates. And he wants those mules. And once again, that planetary, it's all on its own. Oh, the stacked power bombs. Not bad. Spirit trying to push forward. Reynor moving in, getting two of those tanks, forcing friendly fire. He gets one. One tank goes down. Spirit getting into Hellion production. Still maneuvering with that main army. Reynor, he sinks back in his chair. Oh no. He's like, what have I done? Where am I? I'm stuck in a room with this madman. With this mad lad even. Oh no. And Spirit's like, I can do this all day, mate. I can. you don't understand. I like this, Pappy. I like this. Let's go. As Reynor does take down the Planetary on the right hand side. Even if Reynor wins this series, I feel like Spirit, he's gonna win. Like, he's gonna win in a different way. He's gonna he's gonna take the mental victory, mate. Oh no. The mental assault on Reynor. It's effective. He's like, you might bring me down, but I'm gonna make sure you wish you hadn't met me. Oh no. But the production team, they're having fun. They're they're enjoying themselves. As Reynor, he dives in, running into a wall of depots. Spirit, he's in position, he defends. Now, referring to the current composition of Reynor, going for these Lingbane run-bys, this is fine as long as he denies bases. The moment that he starts trading inefficiently, that is when Reynor is going to have to respect the position of Spirit and start taking and transitioning into something like Broodlord and Broodlord Infestor. Doesn't need to yet, but again, if some of these fights start going south and if Spirit maintains a better economy as he is now expanding, then that's when you do need to switch out of this. For now, it's okay. As again, this army from Reynor is designed to trade and designed to counterattack. And so far has been doing decently well at it. The moment that he doesn't, I mean, that's when you have to get out of this. So that might be a factor in this game. As Spirit, he's gaining ground. Spirit, he finally takes another expansion. Nuke across the map. The goal base is mined out, but he's going for the larva. Reynor, he does collapse in. The Hellbats, they hold their own. Oh, nice bailing connection here on the bio. Nuke goes off. At the same time, they go, no, the Ghost! The Ghost, they get caught out. Massive pickups. Yeah, very nice engage here from Reynor. That should not have happened. Spirit, he was distracted. The Ghost can almost reset. Again, those are the units that matter for Spirit. With that down to 5 Ghosts, he has to rebuild as quickly as possible. Jumping towards the north. Reynor, he's here for it. And split off is ready, jumping back into the mineral line. Gonna be trading out the bio army for the Lingbane. But against Spirit, he needs more time to rebuild those ghosts. Without them, the army is exposed. Tanks gonna be going down, ghosts as well. The production is not, the reinforcements are not here in time. And Reynor takes a massive fight. Cleans up all the tanks, the ghosts, the liberators as well. And Spirit, he's losing momentum. It's one of those things with Spirit, he has a bank that is true, but it takes longer here to rebuild. It takes much longer for the Terran. So he can't afford to take this heavy of a loss this quickly. This frequently. So Spirit, he needs more time. And Reynor, he shouldn't be giving him that time. You're once again collapsing the army. Just not allowing Spirit to reinforce. Not allowing him to build up a death pool of an army either. Catching out more ghosts, catching out more tanks. You're knocking out the CC. At the same time, Hellbat's counterattack, getting into the mineral line. Nicely done here by Spirit. Likewise, Reynor also takes down bottom left. Planetary is going to fall. Another CC going to burn down. But Spirit is getting damage on the cross and I'm taking down some bases. Hatcheries are falling. Spirit doing well with these Hellbats. Again, we were missing this last game. The Hellbats back. Oh, the the somewhat burrowed Bailey. Let's go. Catching more SCVs. You can see Reynor rotating everything towards the right-hand side. Spirit is remaxing. Reynor doesn't have as great of his economy as he used to. Still holding on. The armies, they're passing by each other. Reynor is going to understand the planetary. And Spirit, does he come back home or does he commit? He's committing. Do we go for the base trade? As Spirit, he loses one base, but he takes out another. Reynor, he is turning back around. So Reynor, he doesn't keep going. He will lose the expansion. Astrea is going to fall. Spirit, he can now gain access to these to the bottom left. Reynor. I was waiting for the zoom from production, but Reynor, he's no. He's enjoying himself. Hey, pushing right down mid. Spirit's out of position. And wall of CC's under fire. Spirit, he has to respond. Getting caught completely out of position here. Nice snipes. Snipes going up on the Hydras. Banelings, they roll in. They don't quite get the connections they're hoping for. The CCs, they survive. Marines, they counterattack across the map. Getting a couple of workers. Spirit, he holds. He does have the larger army. Once again, setting up a Hellion run by towards top right. But it looks like Reynor should be able to catch it. Yeah. So I assume those Hellions, those Marine, those Bio army. Marines and Marauders, they are caught out. Nice pickups here from Reynor. Some nice lip harass. Once again, just denying the base. Denying the economy. And moving in, but they are reinforcements back at home. Collapsing on the Liberators. Decent abductions. But the freedom is here. Planetary is going to fall. Not the worst trade from Spirit. Takes down a lot of the Ling Bane. Spirit, he maintains the army. He will lose the mineral line, though. But is Spirit going to counterattack? I'm sure he's tempted. And, jeez. Spirit down to 18 SCVs. But Reynor doesn't have the most efficient economy either. Jesus, Spirit's army is massive, by the way. It's insane. He's almost at 200 army supply. Almost. It's very Marine heavy, is what I will say. Which I'm not entirely convinced by, just because there is a lot of Ling Bane. So we'll see how well Spirit can engage. Lings, they once again go for the counterattack. And 2, 3 tanks going in. The tanks are exposed. These are expensive losses here for Spirit. Now, as he bleeds out tanks, he's replacing them with SCVs and with Hellions. Hellions on the way. I wouldn't be opposed to... I was going to say Widow Mines, but against a heavy Hydra count, you do want tanks. That does mean less tanks to move out. I'm still on the fence when it comes to the army composition of Spirit. And here comes Reynor. Does dive in, gets some blinding clouds, abducts the Liberators. And you get yoinked in, and here comes the Ling Bane. How well does Spirit spread? The splits are decent. Oh, does take some Banelings to the face on the left-hand side. Some brutal Baneling connections. But Spirit, he can keep pushing, and the Banelings are not ready. Nuke goes off, takes down 5 drones. Reynor, he is vulnerable, but he's making 20 Banelings as we speak. Thankfully, Spirit, he's remaking his tanks. Oh, that's 7 Ultras on the way. How many Ghosts does he have? As Helen's gonna be cleaned up, they don't morph into Hellbats. A bit of a later morph. Reynor is running out of gas, which is concerning. The gas banks for both players are quite similar. I mean, Reynor did spend his gas on Ultras, which can do well, or not. I would love to see the ghost count of Spirit, as I believe his ghost count is a little bit lower than it otherwise once was. Link trying to knock down that front door. They will bust in. And Link, they bust into the bases, trying to camp the production. Hoping to catch any of these tanks. Ultra's moving in. And what is the front line looking like? Has Spirit rebuilt those libs? Has he rebuilt those ghosts? Without them, these Ultras are going to snowball out of control. He dives in once again. It is a very marine heavy composition. There's what, 2 ghosts here? Ay, ay, ay. Not enough ghosts. Sorry, 3 ghosts even. His position is broken. Planetary goes down. Sad Spirit going for a counterattack. Once again, trying to trade a base for a base. Moving out with his tanks. That is a bold move. As he takes down the hatchery. Pulls away. Reynor, he has 0. Okay, we're good. He had 0 gas income. He needs these gases. Yeah, the Observer's putting it out as well. Like, the gas income here for Reynor is lacking. He does take down bottom left. At the same time, Spirit going for top right. Now we get the Greater Spire on the way. Let's go. 31-minute Greater Spire. Ooh. Liberator takes down the Queen. Meanwhile, Reynor is going to be committing. Takes down more bases, more planetaries. I mean, there's no mining going on here, so not the most important bases here from Spirit as he just completely abandons this location. The Great Migration. Oh, he's got 1 patch left. Spirit, he needs some bases. Now, because Spirit was harassing that the base on the right-hand side so often and so much, there's actually a lot of resources there. So Spirit, yeah, is going to be rotating over towards the right-hand side. Can take these fresh base, well, these quote-unquote fresher bases. Yeah, there's a lot of resources here in these minerals and this gas. Likewise, Spirit, he can also take top right. There's not much to defend. He needs to deny that base as quickly as possible. But Spirit, Reynor is being active. Spirit, he's running out of minerals. Nice abduction, nice yoink. Spirit, he's spending most of his minerals here. Throwing down turrets, throwing down sensor towers. 2 more yoinks. And finally, Spirit, he goes to top right. This could have been done a little bit sooner. Not gonna lie. As there's only 1 patch left. Oh, yeah, that needed to have been done sooner here from Spirit. Ay ay ay. There's the zoom. If you missed it, Reynor, he's looking very uncomfortable. He's oh no. He's doing everything but lifting his hoodie. Oh no. The smudge, papi. Mate, this is only game 2. You don't understand. See, if we could see Spirit right now, he'd actually be looking like he does as we see him. Not necessarily a smile on his face, but you know, a very neutral stance. He's like, yes, this is StarCraft. You can see, let's go. Don't forget to stretch your roaches. Stretch your roaches. You know, posture check in the chat. Posture check. Look after yourselves. The reality is here that if Reynor pushes into this army, if he takes a bad fight, he will lose this game. So it's one of those things where he cannot ape in. I love this migration here from Spirit, making use of the production to throw down a wall. Migration is coming. Just abandons his bases. Doesn't need them. Lings, they flood in. They'll clean up whatever gets left behind. Oh, getting a tank. Not bad. Tank is going to go down. Depots are going to be going down, more importantly. That will supply block Spirit. Assuming these Lings kill everything. So there is value that's being left behind in those depots. As the Curse moving in. Bold move. There are some Broodlords, but no Infestors, no Fungal. Up! Gets a couple of snipes. One Ghost goes down. And now we have one Infestor coming out. And now Reynor, he has recognized he has to switch into Broodlord Infestor. As more Broodlords are morphing in. Again, you can see that Reynor he only left Spirit one mineral patch. So here we go. See the chat, can you play a bit forward? Are you talking to Reynor to like move forward? If you're unaware, this is live. If that's what you're referring to. Say live broadcast. Yeah, can you tell the players to speed it up? Nah, Pappy, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Tell them to play faster. Kappa. As Rockstar being knocked down. Wants you to time. Ah, I see. Oh no. Why would we? We'd miss the game. This is riveting, mate. The content. Abduction here on the lib. Oh, the Broodlord count is quite high. We've got a solid Broodlord count at this point. Spirit with the Mule Hammer on the one mineral patch. Let's go. Fungal goes off, does graze the army, catching out one of the ghosts. But the ghost does survive. Now, I am concerned that the ghost count is too low for Spirit to really push in. Likewise, I spoke earlier about the lack of depots, but Spirit, he actually cannot max out. He has resources, but cannot max at the moment. Nice abductions here on the libs. Abductions going off. More libs on the way. You can see Spirit going to Thor production. But again, Spirit, he's only got, what? He's got like, what? Maybe 13 ghosts? It's okay. They're sprinkled in. As the observer's just going for a quick base check here, looking at the resources left here for Spirit. But again, the reality is the Spirit, he's running out of money. He's running out of money. I mean, both players are really. The map itself is being exhausted. And we'll soon have no resources left to mine. And Spirit's bank, I'm not really feeling too confident about how well he can trade, considering how little resources he has left. He has a decent gas bank, that is true, but the minerals, that's what's concerning. Lack of minerals here for Spirit. Abducts at Thor, massive pickoff. Thor goes down. Reynor's impatience cost him such games. It did cost him games in the past, but this game he has been quite patient. Like, he's been looking very uncomfortable on cams, that is true, but he's been fighting against his inner nature. As Ghost move forward, massive fungals going off, Ghost is going to be going down, he gets one, he gets two. Nice fungals, the chain fungals as well, looking down the army. And Spirit, he doesn't gain ground, another Ghost falling. Yeah, brutal losses. But again, every fiber in Reynor's being is telling him to ape in, and that's what the zoom ins from the production has been about. We've been seeing the inner battle of Reynor. Reynor, he's been fighting Spirit and fighting himself, making sure like don't ape in. I have to just calm down. I have to stretch. I have to do everything I can to stay focused, stay on task. Don't falter. Don't waver. Play it out. Because there are so many moments in this game where if Reynor apes, he dies. Stay on task. The temptation to F2A move. It's always there. It's always there. Oh, nice fungal. But lastly, Ghost a little bit too far back. Snipes here on the Broodlords. EMP a little bit too late. As another Ghost goes down. Snipes are popping off. We do get a back and forth trade. As a reminder, Reynor, he can rebuild. As 4 more Infestors are on the way. And Spirit, he's out of minerals. He's out. What you see is what you get. As the army is not really going to get much larger than this. And again, the ghost count just isn't really there. Nice abduction, catching 2 more Thors. 2 more Thors going down. Extra Broodlords on the way for Reynor. Again, he can't afford it. He still has mining. Technically, if Spirit can somehow take out the northern base of Reynor and take that base for himself, then he can maintain himself, but that's only if he can deny the expansion. As Thors, they do snipe a Viper. As the Power Bomb takes down the Liberator, and again, every unit that goes down, it's not being replaced. It's not being replaced. Another Thor falls. Oh, the fungals are brutal. Looking down the army. And Spirit, he's running out of steam. He's just running out of forces. Mass fungal going off once again. And now it's time. Now, Reynor, you have our permission. You can ape in. At this point, he has enough. I mean, he doesn't really know that Spirit has no bank and has nothing left. But Spirit, he's out of units at this point. GG gets called, and Reynor takes game number 2. Whew. GG. GG, well played. And again, we also got to see how the map factored into game 2 as well, as opposed to game 1. This was a much closer game on ley lines. We saw that Reynor, he had a lot more freedom, he had a lot more map control. He was just knocking Spirit down left and right and knocking down base after base. Here it was more of a back and forth. Spirit had a much easier time defending and saturating and holding on 5 and 6 bases. He did have a harder time getting a 7th base up and running, that is true, but likewise so did Reynor. As Reynor, he also had a hard time expanding and holding onto those fringe bases, losing drones left and right. We had more of a back and forth. In the end, Reynor did overwhelm, was able to catch Spirit out a couple of times when it comes to his tanks, when it comes to his ghosts. There was a big moment halfway through, or around the 20-minute mark, where Spirit got caught out and his ghost count was reset. I don't think his ghost count ever really got as high as it once did in that moment, and with that, in the end, Reynor did take it. GG. GG, well played, and I hope Reynor has the stamina, has the mental fortitude to do that again, because up next, we have a smaller map, but even more defendable map, Ultra Love. Ultra Love is known for its late game, it's known for its split map scenario, is known for being hyper defensive, and this style of Spirit, I mean, we spoke about it after Ley Lines. Like, Ley Lines was going to be the roughest game for Spirit, 100%. That was going to be, Ley Lines is going to be Spirit at its worst. Spirit at its best is going to be Neon Violet Square, Ultra Love, and Abyssal Reef. These three maps are much, they lend more towards this turtle style. They help out the turtle style, they help out the defending player. There's a lot here that Spirit can take advantage of. So I hope you're ready for another 45-minute game. Let's go. Let us go. And again, this series is making up for how short herO versus Astrea was. Really, they knew that what was coming our way, so they wanted to help us out. They're like, oh no, they've got like a 3-hour series ahead of them. We got to wrap it up real quick. Don't want to keep them waiting. Let's go. Turtle Hermit style like Master Roshi told him. Yes, exactly. One of these days, Spirit, he's gonna take off the shell and he's gonna zoom. He's gonna be so fast, so quick. It's gonna fly. That won't be today though, but one day. As in the top right hand corner, we have Reynor for Basilisk. And in the bottom left, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Terran player, Spirit. Let's go. Let us go. And welcome one and all to Ultra Love. Again, Ultra Love is an interesting map. I believe the rush distance by ground is equivalent to Ley Lines, so it is technically a smaller map. It is a smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground, that is true. But on the flip side, it is a very defendable map. The natural, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth base, there are a lot of choke points, there are a lot of ramps, there's a lot of high ground, there's a lot of even these narrow bridges as well, towers you can knock down to fully wall off. There is a lot that does favor defensive play. As a result, we have seen a lot of split map scenarios on Ultra Love. We've seen a lot of split map here on Ultra Love. So because of that, I'm sure the Spirit wants to embrace that kind of style. But we'll see if Reynor lets him, because on the one hand, yes, it is very defendable, but because how much smaller the map is, it does mean that Reynor can be more active, can be more aggressive, and could even try to go for an all-in. Like, he has the freedom to do so. For now, Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Reynor. This time, he is not cutting corners. If you recall, last game it was all about greed. Reynor, he went for what was a 4th hatchery before gas. Reynor was hyper greedy, so was Spirit, going for a 4th CC before Starport, before I think even 3rd Rax, or yeah, just after the factory. So we saw hyper greed on Neon Violet Square. We should not see that in any of these other games. It's unique to Neon Violet Square. So now we can return to normalcy. Reduced hurling patch feels amazing, man. I mean, this is also why the map decisions was really weird when it came to the maps that ESL did choose. But yes, even though the patch of this, the patch notes of this patch did say that they wanted to reduce turtling, their actions said otherwise. So it's one of those things where, you know, they told us one thing, but they did something very different. So yes, turtle play is a little more favored in the current map pool, I should say. Yeah. We're getting mixed signals from ESL. But here we go. We do have the 3rd TC on the way. 3rd TC before Starport. It is going to be an economic start here by Spirit. The turtling hurts my brain. Oh no. Oh no. Stand strong, people. Stand strong. Be like Reynor. Be like Reynor. You know? Serenity. What is serenity now? Just stay with us. You'll be okay. We can get through it together. You're not by yourself. You're not on your own. Like on the ladder. We can make it. We can make it. Yeah. Working as intended. Ah, no. We'll get through this as one. As Spirit, he does attempt to dive, is going to be punished. Hellion does go down. Nice pick off here by Reynor. Very nicely done. And behind this, interesting. So it is going to be a third CC for Starport, but no add-on swap. No add-on swap out of Spirit, so no Banshee plays, going for faster stim into Liberator Harass instead. So as a result, there won't be any Banshee Harass, true, but there will be an earlier stim timing available to Spirit. So he can be more active early on. As Hellions move out. And we have the follow-up bioproduction as well. No mech yet out of Spirit. I mean, Spirit, he is one to embrace mech from time to time, but at least not so far in this series. As Reynor is going Lair first. Lair followed by the Balinist into 1-1 upgrades. Liberator has arrived. Hellions, they go for the dive, but Reynor real quick to fully wall off. Does hold off for the Evo Chamber, does hold. And does defend. So far so good from Reynor. There's that double Evo Chamber. Getting to his upgrades. Getting into his Ling Bane. Now last game we did see Reynor embrace Mutaplay, which wasn't too with mixed success is what I will say. Very much so mixed success from Reynor. Although that was because of the map itself, because of how large Neo-Violet Square is, we should not be seeing Mutaplay here though. The likelihood of that happening is much lower on Ultra Love. Not impossible, but lower. Baliness gets thrown down. Reynor for the time being just embracing Ling Bane. And Spirit, he's building up towards that 1-1 timing. Stim is done, he can be active. The Hellions are looking for a way in. At least contesting against the creep. And so far, this is the most standard back and forth that we've had in this series. Like the most standard early game, I should say. You know, we have some Hellion aggression, creeping spread. We have somewhat of an active force. Ah, it's beautiful. We have some Starcraft. As I would imagine, again, Spirit, he's building up towards that eventual move out. Throwing down extra Raxes. I believe he is getting up to his 5 rack setup. Throwing down the armory 4-2-2. So far as gaining ground. Likewise, Reynor setting up for a massive lane counterattack towards the natural. The natural wall's wide open, and Spirit, he does not lift in time. The production is exposed. Marine's going to be going down. The tank does race back, is likewise exposed as well. And Spirit, he's losing it on home. And the Ling run by continues. At the same time, Spirit, he dives into the mineral line and going for the base. Going for the third expansion. There is some Ling Bane to defend, but is it going to be enough? As SCVs are going down, the hatchery does fall. And Reynor, I mean, there's no pressure on him to really collapse on the army. He can take it slow. He can just back off and take it slow. Ooh, but Reynor's going to be losing 2 expansions, the 3rd base and the 5th. 2 bases going down. And Reynor, he only gets 9 SCVs across the map. Spirit holds. Spirit, he does hold, but Reynor, he wants the 3rd. Rolling with the Bailings, shuts down the bunker. Up, rolling into the mineral line, and Bailings they connect. 15 SCVs going down. Reynor surrounding the army. No, the splits. Splits aren't there. Does lift. Does pick up. Call pick up out of Spirit. Reynor, he can just keep pushing. Spirit, he's racing back home. He's out of position. And Reynor, he wants a shorter game. He's like, why don't you just die? I don't want to be here for another 45 minutes. Not again. I want it to end. As he gets 32 SCV kills, takes down both evays. Spirit, he finally turns back around. He races back. But the economy has been crippled. Ooh, he will lock down the Lings, though. Yeah, an efficient fight here from Spirit. And now we can counterattack. Now, what's important here, Spirit, his economy is crippled. That is true. Like, he's pretty committed, he's pretty all in, but Spirit has a massive army. He's up in army supply. In a head-on fight, I do favor Spirit, so he's moving out to end the game, and Reynor, he has to buy time. He has to force Spirit to stay back at home for as long as possible. Otherwise, Spirit may just snowball out of control. As he's moving out, there's tanks behind this. Liberators that have arrived. Drop into the main at the same time. Pulling Reynor apart, at least trying to. Pulling away his army. Spirit moving in. There is some lane main to work with. Collapsing on the Hellbats. Some of the Hellbats do go down. +2 carry base on the horizon here for Reynor. Is just building up, buying time. Still can't quite engage. And Spirit is pushing in. Getting on top of the Queens. You'll see Reynor, he's trying to set up for a surround. Has yet to pull the trigger. Yeah, the base is under fire. The Queens, they're holding their own. Now, as Reynor sets up the surround, the 4th base is exposed. But Reynor, it looks like he should have enough to clean this up. Base is getting low, bases, they connect. Yeah, they do crash in. Marines are coming from behind. Reynor, he collapses on the main army, cleans up all the tanks. The tanks go down, the Liberator as well. But Reynor, he will lose the 4th. But Reynor, he can afford it. He can afford that loss. He has the backup base towards the top left. He saved the drones. And Spirit, he lost most of his army. Losing another tank as well. Tank is going to go down. Spirit still being active, moving out with another double drop. But momentum is on Reynor's side. As Reynor is moving out with his army. He's somewhat in position to defend. Lings, they try to flood in. Spirit is ready for it though. Ooh, and the mineral line is exposed. Spirit popping off, takes down another expansion. Another base is going to fall. It's going to be 3 base versus 3 base. Reynor collapsing in. Yeah, he comes in from behind, locking down the army. Banelings, they don't quite connect, but the tanks are exposed. Reynor, he denies the 3rd. But again, Reynor, he has limited lava. He has limited income. Down on 3 bases. Oh, back at home, he does defend. Does have enough. Reynor, he's holding. He's going to be holding on. Spirit's still being active. I mean, this drop play has been popping off for Spirit. I mean, we've seen this before. This is how Spirit was able to bring down Cristiano during the previous Little League Cup qualifiers. Was purely with drop play. Can he do it here? As Reynor, he's not as far ahead as he otherwise would have liked to have been. And you can see Reynor, he wants the counterattack. He just wants to send it, Bappy. Oh, the tanks are exposed. Tanks are left alone. Tanks are going to be going down the 3rd base as well. And Spirit almost going for a base raid at this point, as he has a little supply invested into these drops. The natural base is being broken, though. This is far too much. Spirit losing a lot of his economy. And Reynor, he's somewhat turning back around. Do drop into the main. Top drop towards the left. Reynor, can he keep up? As so far, he defends his 3rd. The main base is vulnerable. Spawning pool goes down. Not bad. Spirit, he's denies any more lings. But there are banelings. Yeah, plenty of banelings here to defend. Spirit forced to pick up. Back at home, Spirit, he's on a 1 base economy. He's supply blocked. And Spirit, he doesn't have the money for a depot. He can't afford it. He can't break free. Yeah, the supply block is brutal. Even going down supply won't be enough. As Spirit, he's running out of steam. He trades well here as he started steps well against the banelings, but GG gets cold as he is out of money. He's out of resources, and Reynor, he will take the series 3-0. Advancing on to the next round. Oh, we get the thumbs up. he's like thumbs up, Papi. I feel I'm getting like some like Terminator 2 vibes. I'm like, he's like, we did it. I'm done. Let me sleep. GG, well played. Ends with a bang here. We did not enter a longer game stage. We saw that Spirit was much more active, much more aggressive. We had a lot of kind of, in a way, almost all-ins, as Spirit he was losing control of his third base, losing control of his natural, non-stop run-bys and counterattacks out of Reynor. Intentionally so, it did feel like Reynor, he just wanted to get it over with. He much more aggressive here in game number 3. He threw caution to the wind, led to a close game nonetheless, so in the sense that Spirit, he refused to die and he was able to pull off the drop play quite well. Despite that, GG, well played. Reynor will take the series. GG. And with that, we have our matches wrapping up here tonight. In the end, herO did take down Astrea, Reynor took down Spirit, and I believe the bracket is going to be updated. I think the production team is going to be showing us the updated bracket, but I mean, as you can imagine, the way that it turns out here is that both herO and Reynor are going to be facing off in the next round, and I look forward to it. I always have a treat. It's always a banger seeing Reynor and herO face off in these longer series, in these longer formats, in these big events. Always is an amazing sight to behold, and the pressure is going to be on Reynor. Traditionally, herO, he does have a winning record against Reynor in StarCraft in a lot of these matches. Likewise, if you were here last night, if you missed it, I do recommend the VODs, but we did cast herO versus serO in the Little League Cup, which is another big event that's happening at the same time as Master Coliseum. And herO did defeat serO in the best of 3. But that was a shorter series. You know, that was a shorter series. That was a shorter format as well. Likewise, serO also does have a different approach to ZVP than Reynor does. But regardless, I do look forward to it nonetheless. I'm hoping for a back and forth. Here we had 2 3-0s. I do not expect herO versus Reynor to be a 3-0 whatsoever. So wishing the best. Do wishing the best. Meanwhile, if you want some more Master Coliseum action, the next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow, in less than 24 hours, we're going to be live with day number 2 of the playoffs, and that is going to be featuring Zan versus MaxPax in a PvP, and serO versus Gumiho in a ZVT. So 2 more best of 5s tomorrow. Let's go. herO versus Reynor is going to be next week. Next week is going to be the herO versus Reynor match, for those that are curious. And yeah, tomorrow we have 2 more best of 5s, and then after that on Sunday we have 2 more best of 5s as well. On Sunday it's going to be the elimination matches. The elimination matches on Sunday to determine which players are knocked out of the tournament. Oh boy. Oh boy. Which would be either Astrea, Spirit, or the losers of Zan and Maximus. And there we go, we have the updated bracket. Let's zoom in. Bam, there we go. As we do zoom. And again, we do have our next matches here. You can see Astrea versus Spirit. That's going to be on day 3. And this is tomorrow's matches. Zan, MaxPax, serO, and Gumiho. The PvPs continue. And we get a treat with the ZVT between serO and Gumiho. Gumiho, of course, the reigning Home Story Cup champion. And serO and Gumiho, they avoided each other in Home Story Cup. They did not play whatsoever. Now they will here at Masters Coliseum. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be a banger, Papi. Oh my god. So be here tomorrow. Be here tomorrow for these matches, and likewise be here on Sunday for the elimination matches as well. Now, our next broadcast is not going to be tomorrow's Master Coliseum. Our next broadcast is going to be in 12 hours. In 12 hours time, we are going to be live with the KSL, with the Korean StarCraft League. So if you are unsatiated, if you want some more StarCraft, if you want some Korean StarCraft, then we have you covered in 12 hours time. And then afterwards, we have, of course, the Master Coliseum broadcast. So every day we have 2 broadcasts a day for the next month. We have a very busy schedule with KSL, with Master Coliseum, Little League Cup, our regular weekly tournaments, alongside Pickasaur Monday, Wardy TV Monday, Youth Thermal CV2 tournament, a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. Follow us on the social medias to be up to date. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow. See you then.
哎，算了，恭喜他夺冠吧。
不过啊，他最后这手感染太凶了，最近半年 ZVP 56-3给自己点一个赞，冠军。
I don't think Cyril has any chance to save this one, but he continues. It gets killed coming back, and Bunny just doesn't seem to have the numbers in.
Look at that!
Didn't even notice the Liberator of the main base, I think. So many probes are going down right now. Oh my god, they're trying to get back, but they can't, and so many are picked up. A big clump here from Kiri. Tries to split everything up.
Giant force of fadelings rolling again, clearing the hill. That's massive. Cyril did it all, and he is a well-deserving champion.
Mori